What's going on, everyone? Chris here with clutter reduction, junk removal, and today I want to show you just a couple of moving techniques when you have a sectional couch you took apart, or if you have a recliner you took the back off of. It may seem pretty straightforward to take it out a door, but if you have a skinnier door, there's a couple of options you can take versus trying to force it out widthwise and potentially damage a door frame of a door. So I want to show you a couple of those ways, and maybe they'll help you. So I have a 3-piece sectional couch here. I'm only going to use the two sides, and then I have a recliner I already took the back off of. Now, I did take this apart, so the recliner pieces are going to want to just pop out automatically because there's no support bar holding them in place anymore. So don't pay attention to that. Just watch the types of places that I place the four-wheeler dolly. So we have our lovely four-wheeler dolly. First up is a recliner chair that we already took the back off of. Now, some people would stick the four-wheeler dolly on the bottom because there's legs and they think it's supportive. The problem with that is, unless you had a double wide door, this is not going out a door. It's too wide. You turn it sideways, it might go out a door if it's wider, but there's a good chance it may not. So, there's two places I would put a four-wheeler dolly, and there's a reason why I wouldn't do both of them. It depends on the situation. Number one, most typical for me personally, I'm going to put the dolly on the side of the couch where the little lever is. The reason being, number one, it's easy. Stick the piece up to it so it's flush. I'm going to pin my foot on it so it doesn't kick out on me. I'm going to grab the other side of the piece. I'm going to pull forward on it, just like that. Now, I can take it out the door sideways, which is much skinnier than if it was sitting down on its bottom. Now, the only time I wouldn't do this is if the side had an arm that stuck out like a couch and it was very uneven. If this thing was sitting like this, I wouldn't take it out. It doesn't make any sense. Number one, it's too unstable. Number two, it's too wide for no reason. And number three, now we have these metal bars too close to a door or door frame. I don't want to cause damage. So I'm going to do something entirely different. And we talked about this when you're moving a couch. I am instead going to put it on the front of the couch, the nose. This is where the back of your feet hit when you sit down on a couch, the back of your knees. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is number one, it's the second most flat surface. If you use the back side, I really just have this little section right here. If the dolly was long enough, maybe I could reach side to side. That's a lot of empty space. It's a lot of weight distribution that doesn't hold itself because it's not a flat surface. So if I can't use the side, which is typically pretty flat, I'm going to use the front. Now this isn't hard flat because it's a cushion, but it will have more surface area. So I'm going to do the same thing. Start the dolly off flush. Don't start off like this because when you stand it up, it's going to kick out or it's not going to sit all the way. Start off flush. Grab the back side of the piece, pull up. Just like that. Now, on its own, it'll stay. But as I'm going out the door, I'm going to keep my hand on whatever side the metal is. So as I'm going out the door, maybe there's a drop or a couple of steps. I don't want this to bounce around and smack the metal on the door. So as I'm pushing like this, I'm quick to react if I think it's going to catch the door. But as you can see, it's kind of similar to it being on the side as far as width goes. So that's the main reason for it. But that's an alternative if this has an arm that sticks out. Typically, the cushion part where the recliner pops out isn't going to bulge out too far. And because it's cushioned, the weight of it will flatten it out like a pancake. So that's one. The next one is when you have a recliner, the backs don't come off of. If you guys ever see me take out a recliner, my first steps is to take the backs off. Makes it easier. There's no reason not to. It's fast, and it saves you potential damage from going through a tight space. But sometimes they don't come off. Now I was able to take the bracket off the bottom and separate them from a 3-piece sectional, but let's just say for some reason the backs don't come off, here's the go way to take this out. Just like this other piece, we're not going to stick the dolly on the bottom because even though this doesn't have a second arm, it's still pretty wide. And unless you have a wide door, this alone likely won't go out the door straight. And once again, usually you have a hard surface, dark hardwood, or metal parts on the side of these. You don't want any of those to catch the door. So I'm going to stick the dolly on either side. Really doesn't matter in this situation. And I'll show you. So, for example, this is the side with all the mechanical parts that was connected to the other piece. It stopped popping out on me. Dolly down, grab the other side, lift it back. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, hey Chris, this is really fucking wide. How are you gonna get through a door? I'm not gonna go straight with it. What I'm gonna do instead is go out one way and then hook it around the door, or start with the back first. As I'm approaching the door, I'm gonna go straight. Let's pretend the door is right here. I'm gonna hook it out the door, and then I'll come down and do a full rotation on the other side. Now, the alternative would be to put it on the other side where the lever is, if it's not a middle piece with two metal sides. Whatever side is most stable, put the dolly on it. It makes the most sense. It's going to help prevent it from falling off. It's going to help it from tipping one to two ways. And all you're trying to do is prevent door damage. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea. If you deal with these often, typically the sides are always the best bet. Whatever you can do to make a piece skinnier or smaller and easier to move is what you want to do. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, comment them down below. I can always do a follow-up video of the same exact situation. I deal with these all the time. I always move them the same way, so it's an easy video to make. But I hope that gives you guys an idea, and that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.